Uh, boy, so I guess I gotta start this video over. I'll just keep going. I'll just do 4 videos. It's fine. Time travel programmatics works like this. If you want to change the past, it's already there. But what you have to accept is that you've been living in a lie. That is how it works. That is the grandfather paradox. You have to trust me that I've been through this for a long time. I've been attacked by Nazis in time travel. It just works like this. You have to just go a second and third and fourth step with it before you can say that it itself is an actual paradox. You want to kill your grandfather and be your own creator. You can. If you want to kill your grandfather, you need a creation story. You can make a creation story around all that stuff. You can do that, and you can be the god of your own universe and make your own clones. You want to kill your grandfather, you can be your own god if you want. And you can lie about everything that has ever nourished you, and you can lie about all that stuff that even you design in the future that nourishes you and nourishes you like a parent and child and all that stuff. You think that somehow by the time you get to that point, you're making your own clone parents, that you might as well just put your grandfather back. And it's just like nobody would ever go the whole sequence of actually killing their grandfather, because you have to yourself create a grandfather that you needed to kill. You always need to create, and then why do this replica? Well, this is how life worked. And so here you are, you got a grandfather, you got all this stuff. Is like, Jimmy Christmas, like, what in the world? Uh, you're looking at this stuff and you're like, wow, dude, uh, you know, you can kill your own grandfather. You can kill your own grandfather. You can't kill always killing some fake guy. You'd always be killing a fake guy. You can't kill an actual grandfather, but you can go back in time and kill that grandfather fake guy. That's what I'm saying, is that you always create a parallel universe. You always create a paradox, and you always just keep solving, just like the knot in the coil. It's like a lie. It's just basically you're trying to fix a lie, but you do it with a bunch of crazy stuff you shouldn't be doing, and it just warps the rest of that thing until you get the warp all the way out. And next thing you know, that's how it is. It works now because you got through all that tangled web of all those coils and all that stuff, and then it works. You're at the end of the phone thing. Uh, you always try to mess with that little warp in the coil, blah blah blah. Sometimes you just leave it alone, and it's not that bad. It unwarps itself. Uh, anyway, just that was my time travel paradox explained video. So I got a nice four horsemen of the apocalypse, two videos for the four horsemen apocalypse, and then 2 videos to explain the grandfather paradox. Is that if you're gonna go forth and do time travel, is that you always end up in a parallel universe that you yourself have to go forth and be the god of that universe and create all that stuff on your own, and you can do it. Nobody would ever go that full way, because you'd always be creating a parallel universe that looks similar to your own, where you're talking about killing your grandfather. So let's just be honest that not very many people honestly want to kill their grandparents in the first place. So like I said, power to the people, internet, internet first, America first, democracy first. All these things, man. I'm just gonna get some of this stuff down. It's like democracy first, dude. Really, democracy in the American internet goer. That is some very powerful stuff right there. So MAGA one more time. America first. I love this country. I love my life. I love my Lord. I love God. I love all this stuff. And God loves you back, and God loves me back, and He loves us all back, dude. We have so much time to party and hang out and learn more about the Lord. Let's learn about Judaism, dude. Let's learn about Catholicism and Judaism. Let's learn about Catholicism and Judaism. There's power in this stuff, dude. There's power in the Scripture. I don't even want to go so far as to talk about how much I believe I'm actually the author of Revelation. I might be the author of Genesis. I might be the author of Genesis and Revelation. And we have so much time to party on this stuff, but that's a little crazy talk. I think that I am. I think that if you don't know if Moses wrote Genesis or whatever, who all that stuff was revealed to, well, I was gonna figure it out with my Clonatron time travel. I'd love to write Genesis. I would love to write. I would absolutely take if Peter gives me the job of writing Genesis. Is that I'd share with Peter? I said Peter and I wrote Genesis. Peter and I wrote Genesis, and all this after Genesis was Exodus, and then Deuteronomy. We know Moses wrote those ones, but we don't know who wrote Genesis because it probably wasn't Adam. And since it wasn't Adam, it's almost like, oh my God, it's like, well, who else should do it? How about the time travel guy? How about the time travel guy whose faith brought him all the way to the flying saucer potlucks of World War II, not Foo Fighters, and the potluck flying saucers of the Mars beginning? And Mars being something that's was probably completely ready for human expansion, a human expansion project. It had an atmosphere, it had water, it had all that sustain. It probably could sustain life. It even has a green glow at these days, probably because there's probably some unhealthy stuff that's in the. We probably partied really hard on that thing, dude. It's got a little bit of green glow. It might be from poop and stuff, dude. From poop and stuff. But that just means that we partied hard on it. That's all it means. That'd be pretty cool. And then when God's ready to tear it down and do something new, we're gonna do something new. And we do something new. And this whole big old another thing. This whole big old exercise. It's so fun. And then after that, maybe another one. That second one's probably gonna last forever too. Maybe after that, maybe another one. Maybe after that, maybe another one. Maybe after that, maybe a new Bible. Maybe. Maybe a new Bible after certain ways. Maybe there are aliens at a certain point, but the Bible being from Genesis to Revelation only covers the stuff that covered humanity during the time that it needed what it needed. It just needed a little bit of Jesus the whole time. And a little bit of time and a little bit of Jesus. It just needed a little bit of time, a little bit of Moses, a little bit of time, and a little bit of Jesus. Pretty much so far as order. And it needed a little bit of everybody, dude. It needed a little bit of everybody pitching in all the time with just being a part of the thing and this being this unbelievable thing that God probably never had it any other way. Even though he regrets his creation many times and all that stuff, it leads to this very thing. And it just leads to the time travel in Mars beginning me. I would know that God had a plan for me from the beginning. And I'm born way out here. I'm not even born in this Nazi paradox. I was just some little barely Jewish kid that was black and white and all that stuff, and through school and all that stuff, and turned out he was actually kind of special. He was a great president. And he plans for me and all this stuff. He plans for me in Armageddon. He plans the fight of Armageddon through me and all this stuff, and the Four Horsemen and all this stuff, like way after the fact. Way after the fact. It might be too early that I'm talking about it, but it's true. Uh, so anyway, just a nice little Grandfather Paradox Explained video part 2. Mag's still doing vagina portal. It needs to stop. And MAGA. And Christian friendly. How about a Christian friendly America, dude? How about a religion friendly, Christian friendly America? We can be Christian friendly out here. We don't have to be friggin' Fogel family Christian foes, dude. If Fogel family Christian foes, we were Christian nation. Even the nation that made war and rebelled against the motherland. Not being Russia. The motherland not being Russia. The motherland being England, I guess. Britain. Great Britain, I guess. Britain. Being the motherland. For America. So why not do a Christian friendly nation, dude? Why not do a Christian friendly nation? That's okay. We were religious friendly. We can be Christian friendly. Even after the Muslims, we can still be Muslim friendly. That attack wasn't even Muslim. That attack was German Nazi. The attack was Nazi, and the theft was from this. The theft and all that stuff is just from this real stupid person. It's all from the future. Rome, Berlin, Tokyo axis, and New York City, and 9/11. Those are all attacks from the future. 9/11 is the nice tiara on the Nazi crown. All that stuff all that stuff is understood when you understand it's from the future. And New York being connected to the fourth horseman of the apocalypse, pestilence, through anthrax. Anthrax being the final weapon of the Nazis, and it shows back up through SARS, and it shows back up through through probably even swine and H1N1 swine flu and COVID-19 coronavirus. All this crazy pestilence. We got to put a stop to this stuff. And if you actually look at it this way, is that something like this is probably might happen again. It's not going to happen again. And just like famine was not going to happen again, the COVID-19 was going to be that pale horse. Behold, a pale horse. COVID-19, even in itself is even weak. It's weak, but it's just these are weaponized. These are patterns of weaponized flu viruses and all this stuff. I still think that the flu isn't even killing anybody. I think that it's a cover up for murder. But if you look at the text and stuff and the verse, it's probably the horse is a weapon against God, in a horse of the apocalypse, and that would be anthrax, and then communism would be another horse. Communism in the spread of this wild dictator rich orderless government being that leads to things like famine, and then war being this thing. We made 2 world wars, and they were both pretty high tech. At least the second one was pretty high. The second one was pretty high tech for its time. It's kind of high tech for kind of right now. We haven't really done a full drone war like that. We haven't really done a full. America still fights with soldiers. We're still kind of primitive in the technology that way. That we don't just fight with only drones. In World War II, all the Nazis only fought with drones, and they lost. You think that technology probably comes from the future too. The idea to do a radio remote control war and all that stuff—that's a brilliant idea, and it was totally something that was within the range too. But it probably comes from the future. Is that not any country fights without people? Even still, nobody fights drone. We haven't had a drone war. We haven't had a drone war. We've had drone technology. We have not had a drone war. World War II was a drone war. But it wasn't even artificial intelligence drones. And artificial intelligence drones, everybody in their grandma in Europe knows how to write code for artificial intelligence. I'm just now learning. Everybody and their dog knows how to write code in artificial intelligence. Elon Musk is hiring high schoolers to learn his artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence was supposed to be understandable and learned amongst young kids. But yeah, we have not had an artificial intelligence drone war. And we're not gonna have one. We won't even have one. We won't. Donald Trump was gonna nip everything in the bud, and I was gonna nip everything in the bud with just what I can tell you. That I'm this random guy, and I could tell you all this stuff about the Knights Templar and all this stuff, blah blah blah, from the internet. I'm just like looking stuff up on the internet. I can tell you all this stuff that's going on right now. But it's just, you have to understand, it's time travel stuff. And then you open up the book of Revelation, it's time travel stuff. Jezebel is understood as a time traveler person from the future. The Antichrist being an attacker of God for the Holy Roman Empire and the Catholic Church from the future. He's an absolute criminal of war. Adolf Hitler being attacked, being connected to the Antichrist himself, and and Hitler's fear of the Aryan race being this Middle East. I didn't even explain that in the other videos. The Aryan race is this whole Middle Eastern thing from Turkey, and Turkey connects to Jezebel and Thyatira, and Jezebel, the wicked witch of Jezebel in the west of Jezebel, and the wicked witch of the east being Jezebel, all this stuff. Trying to attack God, and there's her son attacking, the Holy Roman Empire just right behind her. The Holy Roman Church, dude, the Holy Roman Church, attacking the Holy Roman Church in the Holy Roman Empire. It literally in the Holy Roman Empire, and in the day of the Lord, A.D. Peter's church, like very much at the time when it was very much Peter's church, and it still is. So you can't do this stuff. You can't get caught doing any of this stuff or even thinking about it wanting to do it. Cop alert, dude. Is you're gonna want to call 911 harder than anybody as when this slander reaches your doorstep. Because the breath of the breath of your name breathes hot fire on the tongue of your loved ones. The people that care about you the most, they can't even speak your name. You're so unspeakably blasphemous. So it's your own fault. Your sister's name means mercy. Hail. Your sister's name means Hail Mary. Hail Mary like football Hail Mary though, not Hail Mary like Hail Mary the Mother of God. Your sister's name because of you. Because of you, Truman. Your sister's name does not mean Christ follower. Your sister's name means Hail Mary. Your name and the combination of your sister and you your sister's name means Hail Mary, like a football Hail Mary. Like, I hope this works. And your name means, well, let me try to freaking fuck Dickie with the time travel stuff and all this stuff. And then God was not going to have any of that. Your life is an absolute living paradox. Your life is over. Your life is kaput. Your life is you got to wait you got to do a 14.8 billion year jail sentence. No sex ever. No sex for your entire life. For 14.8 billion years, no sex for you. And that's for Shia LaBeouf, and that's for Hitler, and that's mostly for me and Shia LaBeouf. Mostly me, probably. No sex for you ever. Ever sex for everyone but Truman. Crazy, wicked, wild, regrettable sex for everyone but Truman. For everyone but Truman. And you need a second to just break from you and all this stuff, but it's about crazy, awesome sex for everyone but Truman. For 14.8 billion years, and that's God's judgment on the Antichrist. It's a punishment that fits the crime. And all that stuff, and your mom. And your mom, punishment that fits your mom's crime too. And then the whole thing is like, God promises you will die. And you know what happens when you die is that Abaddon kicks your ass. You don't even know who Abaddon is yet. When you die, Abaddon kicks your ass and you go to hell, and Abaddon saves you from hell. It's all written in the book of Revelation, Revelation 9:11. Revelation 9:11, God calls on this guy whose name in Greek means destroyer. In Hebrew, it means destroyer. In Greek, it means destroyer, and then use this to actually bring the actual end of the actual apocalypse. Bring this guy in and destroy, just like 9/11 destroyed, and rip everybody off and all that stuff and be crazy. And that's at the actual end of the actual time. We won't hit that for a long time. We won't hit that until the Antichrist recovers from his mortal wound. We won't get to the mortal wound until I'm done with my homework. And then when I'm done with my homework, we'll have time travel. So here's Albert Einstein, here's to Abraham Lincoln, and here's to George Washington Carver and the derivatives of the grape, the derivatives of the peanut, and the derivatives of the grape, and we'll do the derivatives of the olive next too. Next after that, derivatives of the olive. Ooh. If you don't love olives, dude, you're missing out on just pieces of life. If you're allergic to olives, that's one thing. But if you don't love olives, dude, oh my goodness, olives are delicious. Derivatives of the olive, and the power of the olive being a thing that's specifically poignant and healthy. Olive oil is wonderful. It's good for you. And it's a good, healthy olive oil. And it's high in sodium, high in sodium, but it's good for you. So, derivatives of the grape, derivatives of the olive, George Washington Carver, George Washington, George W., Trump, Lincoln, and Einstein. And we're bringing back Einstein. He's going to make sure that we're all safe back here. All this stuff too. We struggle with creativity and ingenuity without Einstein. We struggle with inventiveness without Einstein. We struggle through inventiveness without Einstein. So there's my 4 videos for the night. Sleep tight because everyone is safe. Sleep tight. Everyone is safe. Yeah, and but patriotism starts in here. It starts right up here. It starts in your heart, and it starts right in your heart. It starts right in your head. You can do all things through Christ. You can do anything. All you guys gotta do is start doing is talking. All we gotta do is talk. It's democracy. Democracy will get stuff done. We just talk about the right stuff. One thing will lead to another. We'll get there. We'll absolutely get there. All you gotta do is talk. All you gotta do is to follow me is talk. It's easy. Just talk. You can't be quiet. You have to talk. I notice people saw my videos. You can't talk, or you can't be quiet. You have to talk. It's not it's not about covering for people anymore. It's about labeling the nuker and the nuker and the corrupter of the Holy Roman Church with time travel and all this stuff after he gets out of jail for stalking and harassing me. After he gets out of jail for stalking and harassing me, he goes and he tries to corrupt the Holy Roman Church with time travel, and his mom tries to steal the birth of Christ. I don't know. Whoever is Jezebel is basically positioned to steal the birth of Christ, and it's probably some stupid Nazi. So don't be Jezebel. Don't even come toward that stuff. Just someone's gonna go corrupt the Holy Roman Church and for Nazism, and someone's gonna corrupt the birth of Christ for herself. All these people are so selfish. They are the most selfish people, greediest greed dog people you've ever met. So this one was 20 minutes. So here we go. Jesus loves you. Jesus is Lord, dude. God was real. Jesus was real. Stuff sucks putting these two people, the Antichrist and Christ, in the same sentence. But sometimes it's about fighting, dude. Sometimes it's honestly about fighting and stuff and fighting for what's right. Christ is about fighting for what's right, and that's the point of the Mars beginning and all that stuff. But Jesus loves you. Jesus is real. I am God's living disciple to help guide you through the revelation, help guide you through all that stuff. I'm Christ's living disciple. And key to this stuff, and the key to understanding all this stuff is time travel. And I am the inventor and the leader and the sole proprietor of all things time travel. And the flying saucers belong to me, and they belong to God. They belong to the pot. Like they literally belong to the Christ. They belong to Christ's people, and the Jews and Gentiles alike, to Israel. And it even really belongs to even really Truman through Christian service. But he's going to get out and do his Christian. He's going to do all this stuff, dude, and then he's going to do that stuff when he gets out of jail. Because I haven't invented time travel yet. I haven't given it to him yet. That's how you know I was the inventor of time travel. I'm the person that can explain E equals MC squared and Albert Einstein's theories of light and photons and all this stuff and the spirit, and then all these undiscovered things. All these undiscovered things mean things of the spiritual world. It's magnificent. Absolutely magnificent how everything's actually connected. Everything's actually connected. And if you actually, I mean, to measure the physical electromagnetic force between objects is probably unmeasured. Probably so tiny you would say it's non-existent, but there's a spiritual connection. There's a spiritual connection between the blades of grass and the dew of the earth and all this stuff. And you and your body, and you're made of H2O, you're made of all these things. Your body recycles all this stuff. You have carbon atoms, I guess, in there too. No, so don't, when you talk to a person who believes in reincarnation, it's just he's halfway away from being right. The only part that you don't understand is that he doesn't understand is that your spirit comes from your DNA, it comes from your parents. It doesn't come from your spirit comes from your DNA and comes from your parents. Uh, it doesn't just come from you know elements on the periodic table of elements. It's spiritual. The spirit is one magnificent thing that happens when a man loves a woman. Is created when a man loves a woman, and your spirit is created in your mind. It's probably very much. I think actually the Jewish Bible actually explains like what happens with your DNA, how it creates a spirit, and God recognizes that spirit as something that is judgeable, It goes on to heaven or hell. And the Jewish Bible explains that, and then the Christian Bible explains in 1 Corinthians 2:11, and the modern science of America. And all the time is available to me. So that's all you need to know. So peace and blessings, peace and grace and peace though. Peace, dude. Honestly, peace. Like, take peace. Take peace. Armageddon is a war that is going. It's I mean it's a roller coaster if you want to ride it, and it's over if you don't want to ride it. It's a freaking it is an actual roller coaster with 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 tracks and rails and bumpers. And if you want to ride it, you can ride it, and it's fun. If you don't want to ride it, that's your choice. And it's all over. You're completely safe no matter what. Uh, so take peace, take grace, take God's strength. Take 1 Corinthians 2:11. Take science. Take Albert Einstein. Take E equals MC squared. This stuff is powerful. So I hope to see some of you guys soon. I hope to see some of you guys that are watching these videos. I hope to see you guys soon, honestly. But take peace in the Lord. All this stuff was going to work out fine. And we'll meet up. We'll meet each other soon. Okay.